Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Something new from Miguron. Not sure yet if it's a budget knife or a premium knife. Whatever it is, I will link it down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to Miguron for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to turn your notifications on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Okay, what do we got? Oh, good. Okay, yeah, it might be a premium knife. Mero 2? Mero 2, okay. I made it sound like I was disappointed that it was a premium knife, and it's partially true, partially not. I'm really excited to check out everything that Miguron makes in their ultra budget territory, because they've sent me 2 or 3 knives now that are sub $30 that were incredible. Some of the best sub $30 knives I've ever handled, and I urge you to check those out. So if you want to check out Miguron, if you want to use those links in my description, use it to go over there and take a look at those. But they do have home runs periodically in their premium department as well. I just really wish that they would get some of their HRC ranges a little bit higher. So I don't know if I have actually handled the Mero. It's hard for me to remember which. Oh, this does kind of seem familiar. So what do we have here? Did you do some satin DLC on one of these? I feel like a lot of the satin DLC that they do is on like their overbuilt, like their crazy overbuilt stuff. But I would be very happy to find out that you're doing satin DLC on some of your more, EDC sized models. Yes, that is good looking. So this area up here looks like it's supposed to be, forward like a finger choil. But it's more so just an enlarged sharpening choil area. So we have contoured, textured titanium, diamond texturing, which they do a very, very good job of. Looks like we have large T8 fasteners and a T8 pivot to go with that. Both sides, we have T8 for the pocket clip. Very, very good. Nice medium retention on that titanium clip. It does ride directly on the texturing, but the texturing is not super aggressive. It's honestly just barely enough to create traction. I would say more so it's just an aesthetic thing, but that's fine. It does look good. So what we have here looks to be a satin finished DLC M390 blade. Now, this is all great. I'll point this out, and I'll keep pointing this out. Miguron, your HRC ranges for M390 need to be higher. They're either 5961 or 5860, and both of those ranges are too low. 60 to 62, in my opinion, is the best starting initial range. M390 can be pushed higher, but I think for the average person, 60 to 62 is more than good enough. Even at 60 HRC, I think M390 shines plenty well, and I think it's more appropriate considering the price tag. These are expensive knives, but, versus the competition offering the same materials at the same price, Miguron tends to be ahead. In fact, you might be hard-pressed to find another contoured titanium knife with a DLC M390 blade at this same price point. There are companies doing it, right? Not everybody's hitting M390 in the HRC range where it should be, but this will still be plenty functional. It feels good. I immediately want a slightly larger version, but that doesn't mean that, the size of this is incorrect. Not at all. It's a straightforward, very very safe, very knife profile. We've seen this a million times. This knife looks like a lot of different knives that are out there. But the important thing is that people who want premium materials like M390 and titanium, and they also want that satin DLC coating, but they don't want to pay the price that a lot of other companies are charging, you have an option here with Miguron, which is great. That's nice. There are still going to be people that this is going to be very beneficial for. Miguron is one of those companies where a lot of their systems, in fact, I think all of their knives rely on either a frame lock, a liner lock, or a crossbar lock. And this is okay if you have other modern options. We exist now in a knife world where these locking systems are no longer considered the most interesting. they work plenty fine. Systems like the liner lock and frame lock especially have been around for forever. I actually don't know how old the crossbar lock is. I don't know when that was first patented by Benchmade, but it's been around for a long time. And it's nice that these are so completely and totally accessible, and more so, it's nice that now in 2025, a lot of these more serious companies have figured out how to create them and make them reliable. But people, especially like people who are longtime members, longtime collectors and knife enthusiasts, probably have so many crossbar locks, liner locks, and frame locks in their collection, that they're simply, not interested in buying anything with a similar locking system. If you are new, I want to be clear, this is no reason not to buy a knife with a crossbar, liner lock, or frame lock. If you're new to the knife world, I envy you, because everything to you is going to be like brand new and awesome. Crossbar locking systems are great, especially if you're left-handed and you're finding that that the knife world largely caters to right-handed people. It's nice that you at least have crossbar locks that offer you the ability to manipulate the knife the same way as a right-handed person. Unfortunately, in this case, you only have one mounting position for the pocket clip, which is for right-handed people. This is something that Miguron gets wrong and needs to start correcting on every single model. So, to recap, when you have a ambidextrous locking system, Miguron, you have to offer ambidextrous mounting position for the pocket clip. Crossbar locks are fine, so are liner locks, so are frame locks, and I'm not going to stop reviewing them because I think they have their place. But most companies that offer these, most companies that are hyper successful right now that offer these locking systems also offer other more interesting or newer locking systems alongside these systems. The big one right now is the compression lock. Now that Spyderco's compression lock patent has ended, companies are utilizing these systems or similar systems, right? Button-operated compression locks, button-operated top liner locks, however you want to split the hairs on that. We're seeing these systems. We're also seeing lots of spine-operated, spring-loaded locks like the shark lock and the super lock and all these subtle, these different variations. I am really shocked that the only company that has, developed a system that is similar, not identical, in fact, far from it, but in terms of operation and feeling of operation, they developed a system like the crossbar lock, but instead of using Omega springs, they used a coil spring, and that's Microtech's Ram lock. Now, probably the reason we don't see a lot of systems like that is because Microtech would probably be pretty aggressive in pursuing any system that was even kind of similar in any way, shape, or form. Even if Microtech might pursue you if your lock smells like their lock. So I can kind of understand why people are not interested in touching that one with a 40-foot pole. But, there's so much potential here, right? And I'm not saying, it's a straightforward system, but we have the cool materials. We got the titanium, the M390, we got the DLC coating, right? The straightforward, utilitarian handle profile and blade profile. The geometry of this knife is going to allow it to function plenty well for the average person. But we need to be in 2025, we need to be taking those extra steps. Little things like the pocket clip mounting position, right? And at this point, honestly, I'm going to say the HRC range on M390, that's a little thing. That's a little thing that should be, very simple to correct. 60 to 62. That takes the performance of M390 far, far higher than 58 to 60 or 59 to 61, right? So little things like that. And Miguron, I think, perhaps it's time to look into some different locking systems. And it's almost like I'm using this, it is absolutely like I'm using this knife as an opportunity to talk about these things in relationship directly to Miguron. And yes, and the reason is because they are willing and able to keep their prices very, very low. Now imagine that they keep that same mindset and all of a sudden start offering knives with these locking systems, with these additional kind of, they're small things, but should be, here, the proper HRC range and the ambidextrous clip mounting positions. Well, at that point, there's very little reason for people shopping in this territory to look at anybody else, right? Because if their prices are that good, especially if they start implementing these systems on their less expensive cutlery. A lot of potential there. So this is neat. I don't think in and of itself it's anything special, but it just makes me think of what's possible. So I don't know if I'll review this one. I'm not sure that there's much here that warrants like a full review. Still worth talking about. Let me know what you guys think. Miguron, feel free to chime in. That's going to be it today. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.